Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Business, Finance, and Justice Committee budget hearing. Today is December the 5th, 2022. I call this meeting to order at 1 p.m. Invocation, Representative Randolph, if you will offer that for us, please.
Lord, we're thankful for another day that you've given us, Lord, and thankful for the watch care through the night. Ask that you guide and direct us in it all that we do, Lord. You clear our minds and touch our hearts. Ask blessings over our branches, Lord, over the executive branch, legislative, and judicial. Ask that you would just show us favor, Lord, and show us the way, show us how to do all these things correctly, Lord, and our words and our actions might be pleasing to you and your teachings, Lord. Just thank you and ask that you bless us in our minds, our bodies, and our spirits. In the name of Jesus, I pray. Amen.
Thank you, Representative Randolph. Roll call, Legislative Clerk April Lindsay.
Patrick Freeman. Sandra Golden. Randall Hicks.
Here.
Thomasine Yahola Osborne.
Present.
Mark Randolph.
Present.
Madam Chair, you got 5 present and 0 absent.
We have 5 present and 0 absent. That constitutes a quorum. Any business will be official today. Next item on the agenda is approval of minutes. We have no minutes. Next item on the agenda is order of business, and it'll be the Legislative Branch National Council. Ms. Alicia, is that something you can speak on since speaker's not here?
I think everything is the same from last year, except it looks like there was an increase in legal services, contractual line items, and let's see, inauguration and supplies. It looks like those are the only increases.
Are there any questions for Ms. Alicia from the committee? Any questions from the representatives online?
Madam Chair, make a motion to approve the National Council budget.
We have a motion to approve from Representative Freeman. Do I have a second?
Second.
We have a second from Representative Randolph. Roll call vote, please.
Patrick Freeman.
Yes.
Sandra Golden.
Yes.
Randall Hicks.
Yes.
Mark Randolph.
Yes.
Madam Chair, you got 4 in favor and 0 against.
We have 4 in favor, 0 against. The budget for legislative branch is approved. Next item on the agenda, we have executive branch communication. Mr. Salzman?
Yes, ma'am. The budget is the exact same as last year. Works for us. There was really no need to change anything up, and we're comfortable with it. So no changes. And I apologize for not being there today. My child is sick, so had to go get her from school. So apologies, and as well as the mix-up on the dates last time. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Salzman. Are there any questions for Mr. Salzman on their budget? Representative Golden?
Yes, Mr. Salzman. I have a question about sponsorships and contractual. Could you explain those items, please?
Yeah, the sponsorships are for, various events, whether it be community events. A lot of the times sponsorships will be, Creek-owned businesses that come and ask us if we'll, do a sponsorship for an event or what have you, or sponsors partners, with us that do different events that we sponsor. And one such example is Neil's Furniture. It's a Creek-owned business. They do a lot of things for the community, and there'll be something we sponsor as well. So that's sort of in conjunction a lot with different people around the area, different businesses and whatnot. And then contractual is for if we need to contract with PR firms for big national type of I don't want to say events. I want to say issues such as, the McGurk issue or the Ogiabova issue, or we're talking about Friedman issue, things like that. Anything that we have, a need to contract with a bigger firm or anything like that, that's one. And also contractual is also for any services on the outside that we have in-house that we use. But it's mostly for contracting with them on big issues where we need an outside firm.
Yes, okay, thank you, Mr. Salzman. You just said that there was no change, and I saw those are increases as well as your your travel, and so that's why I asked. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Representative Golden. Are there any more questions for Mr. Salzman? Any questions from the representatives online?
Motion to approve.
We have a motion to approve from Representative Randolph.
Second.
We have a second from Representative Hicks. Roll call vote, please.
Mark Randolph,
Yes.
Patrick Freeman,
Yes.
Sandra Golden,
Yes.
Randall Hicks.
Yes.
Madam Chair, you got 4 in favor and 0 against.
We have 4 in favor, 0 against. The communication budget is approved. Next item is Secretary of Commerce.
SJ Council.
Good afternoon, sir. Go ahead.
So I know last week we talked about the Sector of the Nation budget. We proposed a split, and half of it has been approved so far. The other half of it is the Sector of Commerce budget. As I mentioned in the previous meeting we had last week, I do believe there is a need for a split between the nation and commerce, as there are currently 14 different program services, functions, activities, or businesses that the Sector of the Nation and Commerce oversees. And at this time, I believe we're seeing a period of growth where it is just not possible for one person to oversee all of those initiatives and efforts with any of the due diligence required of that role. And a nation of our size, our direct peers have split those roles, and I think that it's to the benefit of the nation that we do so as well. We already enact a number of functions that are, separate between the Sector of the Nation and Sector of Commerce responsibilities. And with the passing of the Deputy Secretary budget, we essentially are almost paying for a similar setup as it is currently, wherein the Sector of the Nation and Commerce handles some of the higher responsibilities within the department, and the Deputy Secretary handles more of the day-to-day. But if we were to split the Sector of the Nation and Commerce, I think I provided a organizational chart so that kind of last time, and I have extra copies if the council wants to see that this time as well. It kind of labels, which responsibilities would fall under which secretary. And currently for the Sector of Commerce, the budget is pretty similar to the Sector of the Nation, but there is a Sector of Commerce position, there's an Economic Development Specialist position that already exists, and then the Office Manager, there's a proposed increase in salary as the Office Manager position is not currently funded at a level comparable to other office managers for the other secretaries and other executive assistants throughout the nation. So that's a proposed increase, but both of those positions already exist. And as I mentioned, the council has already funded a Secretary of the Nation of Commerce and a Deputy Secretary. So a formal split would only require just a little bit more of an investment from council. But I believe, if we have two secretaries enacting both of those different positions, it would truly allow both those initiatives for the nation and for the commerce side to move forward in a manner that we just haven't been able to do in the past 5 or 6 years since they were combined into one position.
Thank you, sir. Are there any questions for Mr. Harjo? Representative Golden?
You said that those two positions have formally been separated?
They have not. They were actually combined, I believe, in 2014 or 2015. But I mean, there's essentially two distinct roles: the Secretary of the Nation, Secretary of Commerce. But this, last Monday, we passed the Secretary of the Nation budget, which is just for the Secretary of the Nation. It's the first half of the proposed split. If this budget is approved, then it'll essentially formalize the split, and then we'll have to do the legislation to identify the specific roles and duties of the Secretary of Commerce and the Secretary of the Nation.
So when we approved you as the deputy director of something, what did we approve?
That was the Deputy Secretary of the Nation in Commerce. So at the time, because the previous council session last year did not consider a formal split, the recommendation from the executive office, as well as a number of members within National Council and some other leadership, saw a need for an additional body besides the Secretary of the Nation in Commerce. As I previously mentioned, I believe, as well as many people, that it's too much responsibility to combine both of those departments essentially under one person. And with the funding of the deputy secretary role, what I'm asking for is a split between the Secretary of the Nation and Secretary of Commerce. So there'll be two secretaries, and the roles will be split. That way, no one person is overseeing a large number of initiatives and efforts, because I think the oversight is honestly just too much.
Well, I understand that, and I appreciate your knowledge and experience in all of this. My concern is we've never, that I can recall, I know you gave me, or you gave us, a copy of an organizational chart just for deputy director of all that, but we never got a complete organization. And so I don't really know what I'm voting for. You add these, and I don't really understand the function or job descriptions or what this department is, how it's different from the other. You say they're very similar. So I would just like to see all that before I would approve this. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Are there any other questions for Mr. Harjo? Any questions from the representatives online or in attendance?
Madam Chair, motion to approve.
We have a motion to approve from Representative Hicks.
Second.
We have a second from Representative Randolph. Roll call vote, please.
Randall Hicks,
Yes.
Mark Randolph,
Yes.
Patrick Freeman,
No.
Sandra Golden.
No.
Madam Chair, is a tie vote, 2 in favor and 2 against. You get to vote. Thomasine Yahola Osborne.
Yes.
Madam Chair, you got 3 in favor and 2 against.
We have 3 in favor, 2 against. The budget for Secretary of Commerce is approved. Next item on the agenda is the Office of the Treasury.
BF&J, Madam Chair, National Council, Patricia Killian, Acting Controller. As you'll see in this budget, we do have some increases. This includes some additional positions. As the nation has grown, we have had additional increase, with our programs and the activity and the transactions coming through our office. And also we do have some pay increases according to their evaluations. Some could be, years of service. And also, we have lost some people in our positions to other areas, because of the pay. But we did provide or put in 2 additional accountants. And then some of them that were open before, we have actually hired in those positions. Other increases that you'll see is like on the bank charges, kind of the same situation with the increase in activity in the transactions. with the growing nation and the additional funding we've had for some large grants and the ARPA money, the things like that. So there's been definitely an increase of transactions that run through our bank. We did increase a little bit on the contractual. That includes for our Munis financial system um, with just paying increases in those type of contracts. You have any other questions?
Are there any other questions for Ms. Killian? Representative Golden?
Yes, thank you, Ms. Killian. I just wanted to ask with the Munis, every department and every employee learns how to, they take the training to learn how to do this. The Munis training, every department and every employee learns how to, they take the training to learn how to work with Munis.
We've had trainings. We plan on having additional trainings because I know, we'll have new people coming in. There might be other things that maybe they need to learn, if they just had the basics. And we're going to continue that training for all of our departments.
So the department heads, though, they're required to know how to do this.
Whoever they have as their point of contact that is actually set up to go into Munis, that's the person that will have the training, which could be the department manager or their admin assistant or both.
So like the department that we just talked about, the Department of Commerce or the Department of the Secretary of Nation, whoever is over that, they're the ones that uses Munis to do their budgets and keep track of their funds.
They will have access to Munis to look at their budgets. We have, in the past, I think they have went in and actually posted their budgets themselves. This year, just so that we can make sure with a lot of new people, we would oversee that as they came in so that they would know, how to go in and go in and put that budget in.
Okay, well, the reason that I asked is because we received the budget so late in the year. And it would seem to me with some of the salaries that people are making that they should be required to do this. And it wouldn't be so difficult for your office to maintain that and get these budgets into the National Council very on time. Thank you.
Right, thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Any other questions for Ms. Killian from the committee? Any questions from representatives online or in attendance?
Madam Chair, motion to approve.
We have a motion to approve from
Second.
Representative Hicks.
Second.
We have a second from Representative Randolph. Roll call vote, please.
Randall Hicks,
Yes.
Mark Randolph,
Yes.
Patrick Freeman,
Yes.
Sandra Golden.
Yes.
Madam Chair, you got 4 in favor and 0 against.
We have 4 in favor, 0 against. The Office of the Treasury budget is approved. Thank you, Ms. Killian.
Do I need to speak on there was 2 of them?
The other one was the internal auditor. I guess
Yes.
that was it.
Internal auditor.
Yes.
We don't have them separate. If you want to do it separate, you can.
Okay, so we don't have them separate. We can do them separately if you all want to, or do you just want to hear?
You
We
should
should've-
have, you should have it in your, you should
Yeah.
have the Secretary of Treasury under the indirect and then Secretary of Treasury under gaming.
Yes, go ahead.
This position, it has been in the budget before. I did change a little bit to increase the salary because we would like to hire for this position. With this, it's the internal auditor. And if we bring somebody in this position, that is somebody that will be on staff full time and they can be going through our financials and doing an audit kind of year round that will help the department, that when we get ready for our big audit, we should be a little bit more prepared. I'm not sure when the last time they actually hired for this position, but we plan on hiring for this position, and it was in the budget last year.
Are there any questions for Ms. Killian?
Madam Chair, I make a motion to approve the budget for the internal auditor.
We have a motion from Representative Hicks.
Second.
We have a second from Representative Freeman. Roll call vote, please.
Yes.
Yes.
Patrick Freeman.
Yes.
Sandra Golden. Madam Chair, you got 4 in favor and 0 against.
We have 4 in favor, 0 against. The budget for the internal auditor is approved.
Mado, thank you.
Next item on the agenda is Department of Administration, Tribal Administrator. Good afternoon, Mr. Hullaby.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, National Council. My budget stayed the same pretty much, except for on one of the positions we have. I split the admin position in the past with the Chief of Staff. And this year I'm wanting to add a budget compliance manager. The position will oversee the departments I'm over on the spending and make sure that we're working with vendors to get the best prices and to make sure that we're spending in ways that the law allows. Other than that, that's all I have on my changes.
Are there any questions for Mr. Hullaby? Representative Golden?
Yes, Mr. Hullaby, on the budget compliance manager, what departments will this person be over?
I'll be over GSA, fleet, facilities, IT, HR.
And just those 3 departments?
IT, HR, GSA, fleet, and facilities. They're gonna work for me, but they're gonna oversee the budgets to make sure we're spending properly.
Thank you.
Any more questions for Mr. Hullaby? Any questions from the representatives online or in attendance?
Motion to approve.
We have a motion to approve from Representative Randolph.
Second.
We have a second from Representative Hicks. Roll call vote, please.
Mark Randolph.
Yes.
Patrick Freeman.
Yes.
Sandra Golden.
No.
Randall Hicks.
Yes.
Madam Chair, you got 3 in favor and 1 against.
We have 3 in favor, 1 against. The budget for the tribal administrator is approved.